How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Transport Fever 2, and welcome back to just outside of Bingham. Things have changed a little bit around Bingham. Nothing too crazy's gone on, but I have changed some of the roads to try and alleviate some of the traffic problems that we were seeing at the end of the last episode. And for the most part, it's done pretty much nothing. Traffic is still pretty terrible. But I have improved this road down here. I have added some more lanes to this guy as well. So traffic is flowing in and out of this particular truck depot a little bit better than it was. And traffic is, at least my trucks are flowing down this way instead of along here now, which is whatever. That's fair enough. It does what it needs to do. The issue I think that we're seeing is largely one to do with the fact that a lot of people are just driving back and forth between these two towns. So something we could potentially do is go ahead and just, I guess, have a direct shuttle back and forth with buses or trains or whatever else. I would be inclined to maybe even expand some of my loops a little bit, because if we look at Bingham specifically, the loop kind of ends right about there, and there's a whole suburb around the outside that could be serviced as well. Similar story with Norton Radstock as well. There's parts that could be serviced by a bus there. So that's probably a little something that we're going to do today. But where I want to get started and what I want to focus on today is actually going to be right in here. I want to get some airports. I want to get some proper airports in here. I want basically Norton to be, I kind of want Norton to be like a central hub for a lot of things. So I kind of want to build a big old airport out here. I think it'd be really, really cool to have a big old airport out here. So what I'm going to do is I'm kind of going to cut off some roads here. I'm going to cut out all of this for a little bit, and I can't let the game run until I fix this. But the reason I'm doing this is because I want to use this space for the airport. So we're going to bring this road right back as well. In fact, we're going to go all the way back down to... I've got vehicles in the way down there. What we'll do is just reconnect these guys for a second, delete all of this to push them right back to there. And then what we can do is go and grab ourselves maybe a nice large street. We'll come straight off of here and we'll sort of push it around to the right here. So this can go right back as well. We'll switch this out to be, honestly, let's go with a large country road and just do something a bit like this. So it's going to go around the trees that way. It can sort of come around the trees this way as well to about there. And we'll bring this back a little bit. We'll bring this forward just a little bit, and then we'll go ahead and connect it something like that. And we'll go ahead and upgrade that guy right there. And that should keep us pretty good. That's a decent little connection. Obviously, we're still going to want a connection up here, but this gives us a lot of space to play with. So let's go ahead and just get ourselves an airport. And I think what we'll do is have the planes, I guess the planes are going to be landing sort of coming in this way. So we'll go ahead and maybe do something like this for the airport. That gives us room to expand as well, which is absolutely perfect. So we'll do this. And I think that's pretty good. And then what we do is just bring this road sort of down through here. I am going to take those buildings out though. And what I'm also going to try and do is see if I can get away with bringing this guy straight over. I don't think I'm going to be able to, but that's not too bad. So I think we'll do that. This is actually able to run right alongside the airport. That's not terrible. I don't mind that at all. It might not be perfectly in line, but it'll do. And then what I'm going to do is sort of bring this around kind of through that gap in the trees, just so it looks a little bit more interesting. So something kind of like this is what I'm looking for. And we'll go ahead and connect it, I guess, straight through there. Just like that. So that's absolutely perfect. That's going to give us all the same connections. It's some upgraded roads as well, so it's beautiful. And then for the airport itself, honestly, I'm going to go with some one-way roads. I think some one-way roads here is kind of going to be the way to do it. So what we'll do is, I'm thinking a large one-way street right about here. It's 3 lanes. It's pretty solid. And what we can do is just bring this thing straight over to about there. I want to say should be fine. I'm going to try and take it around the back of this factory. So something like this. I hope that's expandable. And I think I could connect it over here actually if I just get rid of that little curve that we have going on. So what we can do is grab ourselves a nice extra large country road, bring this guy straight down, bring this guy straight over like that, take out the little extra parts. And then all we need to do is grab that large one-way street, bring it over this way, and then I need to line it up with all of this. So this is potentially going to be kind of cool looking, actually. This is going to be an interesting little way to get in and out of the airport. I don't know what it's going to do for traffic, but I'm kind of here for it. I like that a lot. It's weird. It's really weird, but I'm absolutely here for it. So let's extend this guy straight through. Let's go ahead and just reverse it as well, because traffic's going to have some problems there. And there we go. That's how you get to the airport. Oh, I forgot about this part as well. Go ahead and just flip that around. And there we go. So that's how you get to the airport. I could have traffic cut down through here as well if I wanted to. I don't know that I want to. I think that's perfect. That's absolutely perfect. And the other cool thing about this is that we can now use larger planes. And that's the reason I want this thing to exist, is because I want to use larger planes. So my thinking is that what we're maybe going to want to do is go ahead and replace this airfield, because it's not got the larger runways. I don't think I can configure it with larger runways either. So we might need to somehow fit this into this space. And I'm not 100% sure how we're going to do that. I'm really, really not sure on that one. Doesn't really seem to be the space for it at all. Although it looked like there's a spot right there. 17 million. If I wanted to do that, that's a lot of money. That is a lot of money. We could do it though. I could, I suppose, extend the terrain out into the water if I really wanted to. I could potentially get it here as well, like sort of in that little space. If I extended the terrain out there as well, that might be a little much. We do have space up here too, or maybe I just go elsewhere. Maybe instead of going down to Rochester, maybe we leave that be for now. We can go from, say, Norton up here all the way down to, I mean, we have Swanley, but you can already get a train to Swanley. There'd be no reason to fly there. So I don't know. I might have built this airport for no reason is what I'm getting at. Okay, so this kind of works. It's sticking out into the water. That's sort of intentional. The planes will be landing over the water as well. So that's going to be kind of cool. And I honestly don't hate this. I think the only thing we need to do is get a road that comes down to this. So what we'll do is use a medium one-way street. We'll come down sort of like this. And I guess we'll just sort of come down. Well, that's actually not going to work. I want to flip that around. We'll do another one. It's going to go sort of like this. I really wish this terrain was flat actually, because it's kind of annoying me that it isn't. So let me just flatten the terrain in front of this thing for a second so I can play really nicely with what I want to do. So we'll do that, right? And then we want to do some kind of road. It's going to go this way, and that should be fine. I want another road that sort of goes this way, and that should also be fine. I'm going to just extend it out sort of further than it needs to go, because then I can just connect these guys together really nicely. Something like that. So delete you. Oh, that did not work at all. It's terrible. All right, let's bring this down a little bit then. So that's sort of a right angle. We'll get rid of this entire section of road. We'll bring this guy sort of back to about there. Should be fine. We can flip it around. So flip it just like, oh, that's not what I wanted. Flip it that way so it goes around. And I'm basically just going to connect this to like a large country road. That's kind of the plan here. So if I can somehow do that, that'd be great. I'm not 100% sure what my method's going to be on this, but we'll figure it out. We're getting somewhere with it, I'm sure. This is this is progress. So we'll do this, and then we'll do, I don't know, a large country road that goes up to here, I suppose. I don't know how well this is going to work. Maybe a nice straight section of road there, and a little something like this should be just fine. And then this connection is just going to be a little one-way section of country road as well. So we're going to be looking for, I could use medium highways actually. That would be a choice. I think what we'll do though is just stick with a medium one-way street. I think that's probably for the best. I will just do that. So traffic can sort of loop around, get to the airport and go back out, and that'll be fine. It's a weird connection, but it's fine. It's honestly all right. And I'm realizing that this entire road can just be rebuilt with the way I'm doing this, because this airfield is going to go away. So this will be interesting. This will definitely be interesting. I'll tell you what we're going to do though. Let's, I guess, go to air passengers. Let's go add station. And what we'll do, oh my God, the game does not like zooming out this far. Good Lord. What we'll do is add station here, right? So Norton Radstock Airport. It's going to have some trouble doing that. Passenger stop cannot be used by cargo vehicles. I did air cargo. Whoops. Let's get rid of that. We're looking for air passengers. So we want to go here and we're going to get rid of the Bingham one. And then we're going to say no longer going to Rochester Airport. You're now going to here, Rochester Central, which is perfectly fine. So the planes can kind of do their thing. They can fly in, do whatever they got to do. And that's a start. So that's good. Now all we need to do is have these guys go from there to there and get rid of Rochester Airport as a stop. So what are you unloading here? You're loading up on coffee beans. You're unloading everything else. Okay. So let's do exactly that same thing. Load up on coffee beans, unload everything else, and we can get rid of Rochester Airport as a stop as well. So now this airport's not being used for anything. We are going to need to get a cargo stop out here, which is perfectly fine. We're also going to want to bring the trams down here, which is perfectly fine as well. So let's go and get a truck station and let's see if this works. Go for a nice long truck station. It can live, I think, right about there, or on the corner is actually kind of a nice spot as well. So let's do, yeah, let's do that right there. I like that a lot. Yes, it's a little bit nasty in the terrain, and yes, there's terrain needing to be fixed around here, but I'm kind of liking this. I don't play with the terrain all that much in this game, so this is pretty cool. Now, what do we got to do? Coffee production. So this is picking up the coffee and taking it to there. Let's manage that line. And it's going to be from here, getting rid of you. And you are just going to be loading up on coffee, I think. And then probably unloading. Wait, what are you, hold on a minute. What are you doing here? So you load up on coffee, you unload the coffee berries. So here you need to be loading coffee berries and then unloading coffee beans, I guess, is what we're doing. That should be fine. What's this other one doing? This is machines and food delivery. So this is is it Rochester West? Which one am I looking at here? Managed line, Rochester West. You are loading up on machines and food. Okay. So all we need to do is go here, and that is now Upper Rochester. We want to say you are loading up on machines and food. And now everything is about sorted. I am going to want to do something with these tram tracks though. So let me see. Tram tracks, yes. Electric, yes. Can I upgrade these roads? Because that is a nice large country road right there. So if I hit it like so, bus lane, tram track, electric, preferably. There we go. So that should now let the trams come down there, I think. Yeah, there's tram tracks at the outside. We can then go and grab some medium one-way streets and do exactly the same thing. So the entire way around here is going to be good for trams. And that should be solid. So the trams can now come down here, which is what we want. And what we can do is go to buildings, go to bus and tram stop. We'll put one right in front of the station. We'll go to this guy. That's not where I wanted to do that, but we'll go to this guy. Tram loop 1. Main Street is stop 3. So we'll go Main Street, add station there, and then just get rid of Main Street. And I just want to recolor this for a second so I can see if it's working. It absolutely is, which is beautiful. I don't remember what color it was. I think it was that one. Yeah. So that's going to be our trams going around there as well. And so that now means that I can get rid of all of this, which is fantastic news because everything else should just be functioning. So we'll go ahead and sort of let things go for a second there. We'll let things play out and let everything update, get the vehicles out of where, you know, they are at the minute. And I suppose the other thing we're going to have to do is stop bringing passengers down here. So Bingham Loop 1 no longer needs to go down to Manor Road. So that's gone, which is totally fine. These guys though, we need to change this up a little bit. So let me pause again because I've gotten slightly carried away here. I probably shouldn't have let the game run. So Bingham food to airport. We need to change that up. We need to bring the food to this airport, which is actually a lot more convenient. They're not, I don't think there's any overlap here. Yeah, this doesn't actually reach the airport, which is fine, but that's not necessarily the end of the world. What I think I'm going to do is I'm going to do another little one-way road thing here. And what we'll do is sort of go here, I think. So this does not need tram tracks, and it also doesn't need to go this way, but it's going to go this way for a second. So we're going to do this, and I'm going to do this right here. And then I want to flip that around, and I'm going to put a truck station right out here. In fact, this is just a drop-off point. So really what I could potentially, ooh, I might be onto something here. Now hold on a second. Let me do that again. Let me do this road again. I have an idea. This might work. This might not. This might be a terrible idea. It might be a great idea. So a little one-way road there, and a little one-way road, I want to say right about there, and flip that around. So one of these guys is going to just be a truck unload stop, and one of these guys is going to be an actual truck station. And this might work out really nicely for me. It might work out terribly. At the very least, it's going to split the traffic, which is kind of what I want. And what we'll do is, we'll do 3 platforms in the right. In fact, can I do 3 on the left as well? I absolutely can. I don't love what it's doing there though. So let's bring that number down. Maybe 1 on the right, maybe 2 on either side. Yeah, we'll do 2 on either side just so it's a little bit different. So something like that should be just fine. And then what we need to do is, like I said, we need to go here, Bingham Food to Airport, manage that line. You are going from Bingham Branch. It is just a drop off. So go to there and clear that out. And then it just unloads everything. So that should now go in a nice little loop around there and be perfectly fine. So that's that sorted out. This is Coffee Berries to Airport. We want to manage that line, and we want to say that you are now going to, it is just a drop off as well. So honestly, I'm inclined to just say go there, and that'll be perfectly fine. And then the other one was, I think, picking up food, right? No, that's machines to airport. Okay, so they're all just drop off points. That's potentially an issue. That's potentially not good. Hold on. Can I put a stop? I can put a stop on the other side, which I actually quite like. So I'm almost inclined to try that out. So a truck stop on that side. And if I go to machines to airport right about here, manage that line, and we want you to go to here. Yeah, it does change lane. I don't love that. I don't love that. I almost want to flip them around so they're kind of facing each other. Is that an option? No. Interesting. One-way street can't have stops on both sides. Okay, let me get rid of you. Get rid of you. Let me do a stop here. Let me do a stop here. And does that flip them around at all? That does. That's exactly what I wanted. So it puts them in different lanes. Yes, they merge eventually, but that's perfectly fine. So that's what we're looking for. Bingham South is unload everything. So we'll do exactly the same thing here, which is already done. And that seems good. That seems perfectly fine. Yes, there's some overlap, but honestly, not super worried about it. The passenger part is gone now. The cargo part is gone now. I think that's everything other than bringing passengers out here. So let's go and get a bus and tram stop. And I'm almost inclined to say that we do an actual station here. I think that would be kind of cool, but I don't know if it's necessary. I think we'll leave it for now. If this gets super busy, then we'll do something about it. But what I'm also going to do is multiple stops. I think we can probably get away with a couple of stops like that. In fact, let's just space these out slightly differently. So we'll do one here. We'll do one here. And that'll give us some options in terms of what we want to do with passenger traffic. And speaking of passenger traffic, I guess we should have a look at these loops. So right here, Norton Loop 1 is probably going to need to get rid of Kings Road. In fact, no, manage line. We want Manchester Road, add stop. We're going to come down to here, and it's going to sort of loop around. I don't know what it's necessarily going to do. It's a bit of a mess, actually. I don't know that I love that, but whatever. And we'll just see. We'll just see what happens. We'll see how that goes. I've honestly got no idea. I'm curious to see what happens. So we'll let that run. we at least have got, you know, an airport working here. We've got this old airfield here. We've got an old airfield down at wherever it is, Rochester. So this is good. This is progress. This is something I've wanted to do for a hot minute, and I'm quite happy that we're doing it. I can place approach lights if I want to. That's kind of neat. We'll do that because I can. And yeah, I actually really like this. I'm really excited to see it working. And the other cool thing is that because we're using a larger airport, we can now go to manage vehicles, and we can now finally say that we want to upgrade to the Lockheed Super Constellation because it's a bigger plane. So $47 million on that. It's a bit of a chunker, but that's probably fine. In fact, I'm pretty sure I can upgrade the cargo as well because we did. Oh, wait a minute. No, we didn't. The cargo is still going out of here. I forgot about that. So what we need to do is we need to go and configure this guy. We need to add a cargo terminal right about there. And then what we need to do is head over to you, grab this line, manage this line, and we now want to say that it goes out of here instead of Bingham. And what we'll do is have it load up on berries, unload beans, load up on machines, load up on food. So let's see. We're loading up on berries, unloading beans, load up on machines, load up on food, and then just get rid of Bingham Airport. And we could probably also afford to expand this a little bit. It is kind of expensive, but I think a couple of extra passenger terminals and extra cargo terminals will be good. Because what we can do is go to this line, manage this line, and say that you can now go to either of those two cargo terminals. We can go to the passenger side of things and say that the passenger line can now go to any of those three terminals. And that should help the planes come and go a little bit better. I'm not really too sure how busy or not busy this is going to be, but I'm excited. I'm curious. I just want to see it working. I just want to see it working. I also want to go and manage these guys and replace them with a nice, you know, cargo constellation. Big aircraft incompatible with small airport. That's fine. It's not going to the small airport anymore. Not bad. That's not bad at all. This one in particular is apparently having some trouble. Can I replace you? There we go. Not bad. Not bad at all. That's a good upgrade. That is a very good upgrade. I like this. I'm really quite pleased with this. And then what we can do is we can come all the way down to here and we can just get rid of this guy. So this can now just go away. This can go away. This entire stretch of road can go away. And we can just generally improve this little connection that we have going on. So disconnect you for a second. Yes, the game's going to complain about it, but it's probably fine. We'll bring this all right back, I think. So all right back to there. And what we can do is go to streets. We can go to large country road with electric tram tracks. We can go and do a little something like this, I think. It's probably pretty solid. It is. Oh, I don't like that. I don't know how I feel about that. That is, it's a bit of a hill, but honestly, it's probably fine. It's probably all right. We'll just do, we'll do that. And we'll also go ahead and do a little something like this. And that should be all right. Let's upgrade this guy while we're here. And I guess upgrade this guy out to about there. And I mean, we'll just sort of downgrade this one because we can. Oh, wait, no, hold on. Tram tracks, electric, all of you. I think we're good. Let's just smooth this out so it looks a little bit less terrible, because it does look a little bit, it looks a little bit rough along here right now. I don't know how I feel about that. Might just have to deal with the cliffs here. It's kind of weird looking, but whatever. We'll just let that run though. And honestly, this is pretty cool looking. These planes are pretty cool looking. Like, they're really, really cool looking. I really like it. I really do. I'm also just hoping that we have people that do want to come down here. We do still have the same public transport connections to Rochester. And so in theory, we should hopefully see a good number of people wanting to use that. I'm basically hoping that I haven't just built an airport for nothing. Although I suppose while we're waiting for everything to update, we can probably come back to Bingham and do that thing what I said I was going to do, which is basically run a new passenger bus line sort of out and around everything, sort of on the outskirts of town a little bit, around the suburbs and stuff like that. so that people out here can get connected to everything inside the city as well. And I think this will be pretty good because it is going to connect down towards the train station, which I think is going to be pretty important. So we'll sort of bring it down here. We'll bring it down along this road. I'm trying to keep it off most of the main roads, and I think that's honestly fine. So new line, we want to go from here kind of around this way. We'll keep it just that sort of black color until we need to change it. And it can just come up and around right on the outskirts of town. I would personally be quite pleased about this. I'm a big fan of buses myself. I mean, I'm not a big fan of buses. I'm a big fan of public transport, not specifically buses, but you know, just the concept of it. But that seems pretty solid. That's, what is that? Bingham Loop 3, I'm pretty sure, if we look for the other Bingham loops. Bingham Loop number, where is it? Bingham Loop 3, yeah. So let's get you painted up in the right color. And then we'll go and find you right there. So road passengers, Bingham dash Loop 3. And that should be all right. That should be pretty solid. We'll get ourselves some vehicles for it, as we usually do. We'll go for passenger. We'll go for these guys. I'm honestly just going to get 10 of them because I can. And yellow. We'll do yellow for the Bingham Loop. So where are we looking? Right down towards the bottom. Bingham Loop number 3 right there. So that'll be a good little connection. It stops right in front of the train station, so people can, from, you know, all over, get to the train station. And I want to do pretty much the same thing with Norton as well. So we have some stops here. I want the stops to come out this way. I then want it to sort of turn up this way. I do want it to go out to this little suburb as well. I think that's going to be kind of important. I think we can have it sort of come down here. We can have it come through here. Then sort of, I'm gonna have to build some roads, but we can totally do that. Bring it over this way, bring it up that way, kind of down through here. This might be a few too many stops, to be quite honest, but I'm not super concerned about that. We'll bring it sort of down here, down there, down to here as well, I think. Maybe one right about there, and then it'll cut straight back across. So let's go very quickly and build ourselves a little road connection out here. I don't love the idea of doing this. This seems like it's going to be a nightmare for traffic, especially on what's already quite a busy road, but we will manage, I'm sure. And we'll just do something like this, I think, and that should be perfectly fine. So let's go to lines, and I guess this will be Norton Loop number 3, I think. Norton Loop, yeah, Norton Loop 3 is what this is going to be. So we'll start as we mean to go on. We're going to start, I'm going to say right there. We're going to come over this way. We're going to come down. We're going to go up through here. So we're avoiding kind of that main intersection there. We are going to cut across into this suburb though. Then sticking to that suburb is what we're going to be doing. Again, sticking to that suburb. We want to cut sort of down through. I'm kind of willing to cut down through this place and then cut straight across. I think that'll be a good idea, just so that we do have a little bit more overlap in a couple of places. Obviously out to here. We can have it stop here as well, so there's more overlap. Then coming out this way, coming down to here, we can have it stop there as well. And that seems pretty solid. That's a good sort of outer loop for Norton. So road passengers, Norton, and it is loop number 3. Get that painted up in bright red. And I suppose we just need the vehicles for it, assuming the color sticks, which it did. So where am I getting my vehicles from? Where is the, oh, it's right in the middle. Wow, the road depot is right in the middle of Norton. That's kind of a good demonstration of how crazy the construction in this place has been. Let's get 10 of these guys. 2.9 million, of course. Paint them bright red. And then right down to road passengers, Norton Loop number 3. And I'm curious to see if it's popular. I'm curious to see if it works. I'm hoping it does. I'm hoping we see similar with Bingham as well. You know, a bit more public transport. People can get around a bit easier. I don't know if it's going to be a super popular thing, but hopefully it is. Now, while we're waiting for all of that to do its thing and hopefully start working, something I do want to do is start looking at building ring roads around my different towns. Now, I did sort of build one around Whitworth. This road that sort of goes out through this mountain and out to there is technically a ring road. And this is something that's been suggested in the comments a couple of times. It's been suggested on Discord a couple of times. And I think it's about time. I think it's about time that we do this. And the way I want to try and do this is essentially take a large country road, and I'm going to come off of like here. We'll go sort of a right angle because we can. And we're going to try and just loop this around a town like Bingham. Now, I don't want to go too crazy with, you know, I guess bridges and tunnels as much as I possibly can. There is going to have to be a tunnel here. But my thinking is that this can essentially just sort of loop around to like there, for example. It's a decent little connection, so we'll allow that. And then this can sort of continue in a nice sort of straight line here. And then straight down to this road at a bit of a right angle. And then it can just sort of continue straight across, is my thinking. So straight over like that. And it's basically just going to loop around the entire town. I don't know how popular this road is necessarily going to be. It's probably not going to be very popular at all, in fact. But the theory, at the very least, is that this will provide an option for people to get around the town. Oh, another new bus. This will give people an option to get around the towns without having to go, you know, through the towns. It's also going to give me a little option to, you know, connect up roads like this to something a little bit bigger. So this guy can just sort of run straight, you know, through there, for example. And then I can also do the same with some of these like suburb roads that can have those just run straight out and connect to the ring road as well. It is potentially going to cause some traffic issues. It's potentially going to put some traffic lights on the ring roads, which I don't love, but it does at the very least just give us a few more options. And that's kind of what we're looking for. So, I mean, already we have a car out there using it, which is fantastic news. We'll go ahead and do sort of the same thing here as well. Too much slope on this one, apparently. So we'll go and do this and then take that guy out. And we'll just sort of hit this with a bit of a smoothing brush so it looks a little bit less terrible. And honestly, I'm kind of here for that. I don't really know what that's going to do for traffic. I don't really know if it's going to be all that effective, but I'm willing to give it a shot, and that's about all we can do. So we'll see how that goes. We'll see how that plays out. I don't love the idea of having to remove all these buildings, but yeah, we'll just see if that ends up being useful or utilized or at all used. I've really got no idea. I also probably should have connected it to this guy, which in fairness, I absolutely can do. If I just take that road out and then we do a little something like, let's just do a nice sort of large country road right about here, large country road right about there, and then a nice little curved section in between them. That seems just fine. So that connects straight down there, which is exactly what we're looking for. We'll go for a slightly larger road there as well, just so it can handle more traffic. And that seems fine. That's a good little way to get around Bingham. I mean, I say little, it's a pretty big road, but it sort of does the job, and that's kind of what we wanted to do. So absolutely no complaints from me. In fact, I'm gonna go one further, and this might be a terrible idea, but I'm gonna do this. That is a bit of a steep slope. I don't love it, but we're gonna do this. And I'm gonna try and connect these two roads together. I don't know why this would ever be a thing, but oh, you know, I'd really rather it wasn't. I'd really rather it wasn't a bridge. We'll stick to it being terrain. I can just smooth this out a little bit, and that just gives us like another option, right? That's just another way to get between the two cities. It's kind of a more, you know, country oriented road, but it works, right? It does what I need it to do. It's just another option. That's all I need it to be. That's all I want it to be, is just another option. So moving away from those roads for a little bit, something I'm noticing is that both of my airlines are losing considerable amounts of money. So I'm gonna just tear out some vehicles. I'm gonna take out, say, I don't know, 7 of them, maybe 8 of them, and bring this line down to 7 total vehicles. Yes, the rate is lower, the frequency is lower, but I think that's probably fair enough given that it's not making money. And the same with this guy as well. I'm gonna cut this one in half and bring it down to like 5 vehicles in total, just again because we aren't really making money with those lines, and so I think spending a little bit less is probably fair enough until those lines kind of build themselves back up again, which is the eventual hope for the passenger lines, the cargo lines going through the airports. Whether or not that happens, I mean, we will have to wait and see, but I'm hopeful that it will. And I guess looking down in Rochester, is anyone wanting to use the airport? It doesn't really seem like it. Rochester, to be fair, is not really growing anymore, which is disappointing. It's definitely disappointing. I was hoping it would grow. I was hoping it would have a decent little bit of growth to it, but it seems like people just aren't interested in coming down here anymore, which, yeah, that's unfortunate. That is definitely unfortunate. Is this thing actually... I'm actually kind of wondering if this is maybe too far away from the coffee refinery, because there doesn't seem to be any coffee coming through here. So let me configure this guy real quick with a bit of street access on that side, and let me do a little medium country road that just goes up to there. Is that, those are now yeah, it wasn't connected. That was part of the problem. That was 100% part of the problem there. So this is now connected to that factory. So we should have the coffee coming through here again, which is good. That's progress. But the people, on the other hand, it doesn't seem like there's many of them coming down here. So, I mean, does this get anyone on board? It has 2 people, which is fair enough. Can I replace, is there like a new tram? I think this is the new one, right? I'm pretty sure. I honestly have no idea. Is that the new one? Replace from -100? I think we're already using that one. Well, I guess it's whatever. It's not the end of the world. It's maybe buses would be the way to go, or faster trucks down here as well. I feel like better trucks down here might be an idea. So manage vehicles, replace you guys. What are you using at the minute? That's the Opel Blitz tarpaulin truck. Let's just use the faster one because we're not filling them up anyway. So we'll see how that goes. Do we have a regular bus loop going around here? I don't think we do. I think it's all trams here. So that's fair enough. I'll tell you what we will do then. Let's go ahead. Oh my God, the lag moving up here is ridiculous. Let's go ahead and replace some of the vehicles on some of my passenger lines, because we did just get those new buses. So sort by balance first. Not bad. This guy's making good money. Let's sort by name. And let's go find these road passenger lines. So we're looking for, I think the Bingham loops and the Norton loops can be replaced. So Bingham loop 1, manage vehicles, replace passengers. So we have this guy and this guy. This guy can do 25 people. It is slower, but it can carry way more people. It's also a really cool looking bus. I'm going to be honest. It's pretty neat looking. It's $1 million to replace them. We can totally do that. This really, really cool looking bus. And we'll go down and do exactly the same thing in Norton as well. So replace with you. And honestly, we'll repaint them to be like light blue. I think that's kind of cool looking. We'll go and do the same thing here. Replace and repaint in light blue. And I don't know if I just replaced the right ones or not. I don't think I did. I absolutely didn't. That's fine. Replace and repaint in light blue. And then Norton loop number 3. We want to replace and repaint in light blue. And I think that looks good. I'm not 100% sure if people are going to go crazy for the new buses or if they're even really using them. But at the very least, they look really cool. That is the most retro futuristic sci-fi looking. Oh my God, I love it. I'm just going to say right now, I absolutely love and adore like retro futurism. I love so much what the 50s thought the future was going to look like, because it was like this. Like, if you've ever watched, this is admittedly, I don't remember the last time they actually made any of this cartoon, but the Jetsons. If you ever watched the Jetsons, that like retro futurism of like what they thought the future was gonna, I love it so much. I love and adore that style so much. This bus right here is amazing. I wish like this was a thing. I wish that's what, you know, the future looked like 70 years later. I wish that is the future that we lived in, because it's so cool. You know, I've just realized how busy all of this is. That Norton to Middlewich line absolutely needs its vehicles updated to these guys right here. And honestly, those things with like a big purple band on them is gonna look so cool. I'm really, there they are. Oh my God. I love it so much. It's even got like the fins on the back. It's amazing. That's so good. That's so good. I really, I love it so much. It's such a cool looking vehicle. It really is. It's like, it's ridiculously stylish. It is ridiculously stylish. It's so good. It's just so good, man. I absolutely adore it. Now, another little something that has me kind of concerned is the fact that food production has completely stopped. And I was wondering why food production stopped, and it's because there is no connection to this factory for this particular depot anymore. So what we're gonna need to do is fix that. And the way we're gonna fix that is plain and simple. We're gonna just run a road sort of straight through here. And that's a bit of a narrow angle. So what we're gonna do is just chop this right back and then run a road sort of straight through to like there, I guess, is about roughly where it's gonna go. Maybe not quite there. We'll run it to like there. Run this guy sort of straight over like that. And then what we'll do is just connect those together, and hopefully that'll now allow the connection between these two. It doesn't. Oh, that's a problem. Wait, was it not here? Oh no, that's food to airport. Okay. Okay. Suddenly we have an issue. Suddenly this is not close enough to this factory. That's bad. That's really, really bad. Oh God. How has this happened? How has this happened, and how have I not noticed this? So I'm just gonna have to move this thing, right? That's basically where we're at. So if I was to go and say buildings, truck station, give me like 3 on each side, and I just sort of drop it here. I mean, that's in range, which is good. So we'll do this, right? We'll drop it right about there. This is potentially going to cause some traffic problems. It probably is going to cause some traffic problems, but we're going to give it a shot. And I'm just going to sort of extend this thing. I've also got tram tracks in here right now, which is completely unnecessary, and I didn't really intend to have those in there, but I guess we're keeping them now because I'm committing to it. But what we'll do is just extend this right back. We'll go ahead and do street access on the far side. We'll go ahead and do some nice buildings in here as well, which is apparently not going to be an option for everywhere, but we'll do something like that. We can do these little small buildings at the sides as well. Unfortunately, I can't do them on that side, which is whatever. But we'll do this, and then I'll just bring I guess I'll bring a street sort of out of here and sort of around and see how that plays out. So straight out of here, sort of straight down here if it's going to let me do it. So a nice little straight line like so. And we'll just connect those guys together. And that is where we're going to have to move all this cargo to, which I don't love the idea of doing, but I do enjoy the idea. Well, no, I don't love the idea of doing this at all because it's just going to put so much traffic on that road, but it's just going to be what it is. It's going to be what it's going to be. So you manage line. Can I move you to elsewhere? I wish I could just say like, so Bingham West is number 1. Bingham Central is number 2. So I need you to go from there, basically. I need you to go from Upper Bingham is what I need you to do now. And we'll see how that goes. We'll see if that plays out nicely. Bingham Food Delivery is now going to be from here, and it's no longer going to be Bingham West. Again, I don't love how that's looking, but we'll see what happens. We'll allow it to go to platforms 4, 5, and 6 is I think what we'll do there. And then Norton, Booze, etc., etc., etc. is going to be a similar story. So it's going to be going to here, and it's no longer going to Bingham West. We also need to make sure it is unloading that and loading food. So it is going to go to 1, 2, and 3. I want to say is kind of how I want to do that. We'll have it go to platform 1 as its primary. So 1, 2, and 3, it is going to be unloading booze. It is loading up on food, and that should be fine. And the only other thing I want to do is throw a waypoint onto that road because I want to go to Bingham food delivery. And I kind of want to say the Bingham food delivery after Upper Bingham goes to this waypoint. Wait, no, it's already sort of going that way. Am I looking at the wrong line here? Let me recolor this one to blue for a second. Yeah, that is exactly what I wanted to do. So I wanted to go out to the waypoint just there. And yes, it's looping around still. I don't love that it's doing that, but I think that's going to be a little bit better. I might even throw another waypoint down there, go back to here, add a stop there. And that just sort of pulls the traffic around in a better way, I think. So we'll see how that plays out. It might be a little bit better for traffic management than what we have already. And if it is, then good. If it isn't, then, you know, we tried. All right? That's all we can do. All we can do is try. And in theory, what I've done here is going to get this production going again, which is lovely. And I should also be able to go and just clear out this entire stop, which is cool. That's going to free up traffic a little bit, I think. So looking up this way, this thing has been de-leveled, unleveled, whatever you want to call it. This thing has completely degraded back to level 1 in terms of its alcohol distillery-ness. There's no alcohol waiting to go anywhere here. We don't have much grain sitting around either, but the farms are slowly building their shipment and their production back up a little bit. And so eventually this guy will level up again, and that'll be great. Again, eventually we'll have a bunch of alcohol going out, and eventually food production will climb again because this just wasn't working. It is now, though. We got the trucks coming through. Yes, they're being held up by trains here and there, which I don't love, and I'm inclined to maybe do a little bridge or a tunnel or something to help these guys get through a little bit quicker. But this is fine. It was a genuine mistake. It happens. It's not a huge deal. It is what it is. That's all. It just is what it is. Anyway, I think what we can go ahead and do is leave it there for today. It has been an absolute pleasure as always. Thank you so much for watching. I got those things out of order, so we'll try that outro again. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. It has been an absolute pleasure as always. And as always, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.